Hello, Boundless citizens, and welcome to the second episode of the Virgin season of the Fortnightly series. I am Boundmore, and I will guide you through my pick of Boundless news, gameplay, and musings of my Ursian mind from the first 2 weeks of March. In this episode, among other stuff, I will talk about the Code of Conduct, the legendary Post Your Screenshots topic on Boundless Forum, and my exo adventures in form of a mining trilogy. Let's get to it. Our great overseer, Major Vex, has posted this, announcing Monumental's plans to update the existing Code of Conduct. It prompted a healthy amount of answers, opinion sharing, and propositions. Nothing major, one might say. Do you see what I did there? We've been there before. It's been all discussed and dissected and produced the COC we have now. And I will agree, the one we have is decent. But I also agree that there are some gray areas that need to be addressed, and that in general, what worked so far for smaller community might not survive the potential wave of new players. And we all want it, right? The invasion of new players, that is. So, it's good to have another discussion about it. A community brainstorm can help to cover situations that new devs alone wouldn't even imagine. It's us, the players, who have live in-game experience that can pinpoint and spot and predict possible areas of vulnerability. It's also great to exercise our agency here, to engage in something we can actually affect and co-shape. If we want a good and healthy COC, we should chip in and make sure that all our difficult experiences of the past are used to prevent more problems in the future. I want to encourage every single one of you, because of that, to at least browse through this topic, read or reread the COC, and take part in the updating process. Okay, before I move to the next bit, I want to point to another aspect of this COC business. Look at what Major Vex added later on. This part about updating COC and the website. It's good to see a proof of work happening in the background. While we are waiting for the big news and updates and such, the official website, Steam page, COC, and even official Discord server, all those community-focused extensions of Boundless need attention and some love as well. So great to see it happening. Right, off to the next one. I was sad to see that Nia might be forced to give up one of her useful sovereigns, especially that it's where her main base and shops are. And she has become a person to go to for me as I was building up my town. Damn, half of my humble abode stands on her bricks and marble. Then luckily I was glad to discover she will rebuild on another planet, while in meantime she plans to back up her shops in a mall of her choice. At the same time, Wondernut offered to take over her sovereign world with the base and shops, and this way save it from expiring and disappearing from our universe. Boundless community is just a gift that keeps giving. As for the rebuilding project, you might remember that Nia had a diary going as she built her color storage last year. I hope she will do another one when the new base starts growing. I enjoyed reading the original one for both its extensive visuals and the witty narrative. Guys, Boundless can be played in so many ways, and it can become something else for everyone. Here's DJ Dancecraft's grapple course. He recently posted about it, adding a video. This project goes way back to beginning of last year, although there was even older course that he built before that. In May last year, DJ asked for name ideas for the course, and it all ended with the emergence of what we know now as Hectic Rally Zone. It's an extensive course built on Hectic, a sovereign world accessible from Shadow Tier TNT Hub. Just check the video to get an idea of the difficulty level and do give it a go if you are a pro grappler. On a side note, DJ must be one of the youngest Ursians out there, as he admitted to be 15 in the last year's topic. It's so cool to see it's not just us boomers around here. So yeah, he will be 16 come May this year. Actually, my nephew's age. It's great to still see him around, enjoying his grapple life and exploring this very specific angle of Boundless gameplay. Another example of how different aspects of the game inspire different players is Zjavcha's love for exploration. Explorer's Diary gives us loads of amazing screenshots and is a reminder of how vast the sovereign side of universe have become, even with limited player base. There are so many different private worlds out there. When I think what might happen when even a humble few thousand of new players join, my head starts spinning. The Boundless universe size can truly explode by order of magnitude. Just think about the possibilities there. For now, just look at the worlds Zjavcha listed. If you look for ideas where to go next in your explorations, mining, hunting or gathering, there's plenty interesting clues there, and that's only a fraction of the current sovereign sub-universe. Last but not least, in my forum searches, a prime example of a topic for the ages. It's called Post Your Screenshots. Everyone knows it, but it's so extensive that not many, I think, went through it in more detail. It's one of those places in the forum that is always alive and provides something new, no matter how quiet things can get on other fronts. It all started with Noodles posting this in September 2016, 6.5 years ago, in the ancient times of early access. Just look at the blocks and colors, the water and the sky. So much changed since then. And the first grapple, it was so different. It can be a truly sentimental journey. I randomly went through some of the pictures, just randomly scrolling the slider with my eyes closed and letting it land wherever it wants. It's not just the different worlds and places on screenshots, but also players' names, the authors of posts from years ago. Some are still around, and some may be ready to jump back in at the first news of renewed game development. I hope so anyway. I certainly recommend looking at some of the screenies and conversations here every now and then when you are not sure what do you want to do in game, or you have a spare moment off your gaming device. Post Your Screenshots is a mine full of precious gems. The original topic spans over 4 years, and the second part of it, started by Dulk in July of 2020, reached almost 5,000 posts in less than 2 years already. Alright, enough with the forum musings and off to my playing time. Last 2 weeks I managed to complete 3 Exoworlds expeditions, a trilogy of sort, although not the perfect trilogy that is made of 3 lucent exos, 1 of each type. This time around, the exocycle spat out Blink and Rift worlds, but no Umbris world, which aligns with the statistics from this year, showed by Majorworks here. Last Umbris world was seen a month ago. Because of that I completed my trilogy with a Toxic world. First came the Blink Exo with a classic name Epsilon. After that came the Toxic T-Jarster Truly toxic move from the automated name program, actually. My third travel was to the Rift world called Uranus 8 and another weird name, but I will get to that later. So these were my first exos to go to for over 6 months, so I had to remind myself what's needed, and needless to say, I did manage to forget something each time. So, the first one. I had to weather a storm first, and that lasted for quite a few minutes before I managed to spot Epsilon and get on it. Only to realize I forgot a looter. Not a heartbreaker, but it does come in handy at times when digging holes or collecting goo from afar. The map showed long and rather narrow hotspots winding around, and I could mine there with only some lava encounters. It was a decent area, not top, but quite good density and relatively little hassle. Then I explored some regions and saw what looked like better hotspot, at least one of a more regular shape, and it looked more promising too. And indeed, cave system was different there, and there were some lava pockets, but after probing, that didn't sound right, did it? Okay, after prospecting for a while, I managed to pinpoint the edges of lava areas and focused on the lava-less area in between. It was a good miner's spot, quite large stretches of safe hammering and good density. To give you a comparison, almost 1 hour of mining in the first spot gave me 160 blink, while in the second spot, only half an hour gave me almost 300. In between mining spots I enjoyed the views and chased some dormant meteors. As you can see, top left of the screen, I was getting close to 500 cores collected, which is the 4th level of the It Fell from the Sky achievement. I came across the not so gatherer friendly caves with narrow bridges across lava. Collecting goo and other stuff there is a nightmare, so I didn't hang out around them for too long. To wrap up my Epsilon expedition, I collected some flowers as well for a few colors to my collection. Then there was the toxic world with that weird name, Ted Jarster. It proved way more friendly goo-wise with those low, flat caves. No jumping or grappling, everything within hand reach. The only thing is, these weren't really my favorite colors, so I only smashed some rocks for goo and other stuff, and quickly ventured deeper. There were 3 layers of those easy caves, so perfect place for goo lovers. There I went deeper and deeper, and then a bummer. Huge lava lake with large opened up caves above it, taking some of the emerald altitudes. But the atlas showed good hotspot there, so lava couldn't go too deep. With help of solidifier I went through the red water, do you remember that one? And indeed, as soon I discovered that staying below altitude 8 means lava-free mining. I tried 9-10 altitude first, but I kept getting hot leaks from above, no joy there. Staying closer to mantle produced good results though, with 300 gems in half an hour. Just like on the Blink world, I did some exploring to check if I can find better mining spots, and spotted that large blob on the atlas. And indeed, that one proved safer and less cumbersome lava-wise. It made me stay underground longer than I planned. I would really be happy out with a smart stack of emeralds, but after almost an hour in the second spot I ended up with 2 full smart stacks and another 500 emeralds on top of that. And I also got over 100 amethysts. That made my day there, as much as the rain and fog, every explorer's friend, and the massive balls floating over water. Them balls never stop amazing me, especially when meshed with gleam. But what really amused me was that there were also gigantic balls hiding underwater. And if you find those balls as amusing as myself, you can like and subscribe for more in future. I really appreciate your every click. Okay, that leaves us with the Rift World, with a name that looked a bit, well, unfinished. Uranus A and what? It never said what. Hoping I can find the answer to the mystery behind the and, I worked myself the entire 42 blink-sec distance, a 34 coin journey. I found large high caves, not so easy for goo hunting. Then I realized I forgot to take rift for my atlas. So I started mining where I stood, hoping to find my first rift and to put it in the atlas, then to look for the hotspots. Luckily enough, it took me only a minute, and I found out that the very place I started in is good enough of a hotspot to continue there. It was extensive blue blob to mine almost forever. I didn't plan for that long, especially that I forgot to restock my strength brews after the previous two exo worlds. So I finished after just below 80 minutes and I got 560 rift. But if not the shortage of brews, I would definitely stay around to get a full smart stack. Anyways, all good. It left me with more time to explore on the surface. I found gleam trees, amazing floating columns and flat islands, more deep caves with waters falling in down to lava level. I found black glass cubes, layers of thorns, some interesting rock bits in steep mountain ranges. That one here looked as unfinished as the world's name. I also found ice slopes and even palms scattered in the seas. I found floating structures looking like spaceships turned into stone. And as you can judge by the defeat penalty, not all went smoothly. But all that effort and sacrifice for nothing, no answer to what comes after and in the planet's name. But maybe that's it, maybe the name was meant to be Uranus 8 and nothing. On a more positive note, I managed to collect enough dormant meteorites to complete the It Fell from the Sky achievement level 4. And that's worth 12,800 experience and 2,560 coins. Nice. So then I went back home, happy out, and ready to dump the ores and rock to my temporary beacon. I really need to build those missing storages for mining and hunting jobs. Okay, that's pretty much all I wanted to share here, but before I say my goodbyes, let me thank you all for your subscriptions, likes, and in general for sticking with me for such a long time despite my irregular work here on YouTube. And it's a very good moment to do this because there are hundreds of you now. Just hit that number of subscribers after the first episode of Fortnightly last week. Well, 2 weeks ago. So ending on that happy note, I thank you very much for watching this one as well, and I will see you in the next one. Remember to stay boundless.